Hi, I'm Marcus.
And I'm Nick.
We are Working Class Nerds.
Cue the intro. That's right. We are Working Class Nerds, the podcast that gives you no information about your favorite information.
Today is Thursday, September 10th, 2020, and you can find this, The Quarantine is Officially Over podcast on Buzzsprout, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and now Spotify. I'm just going to say from now on, you can find this podcast anywhere you want to look. Also, you can see me play video games and fail and win once in a while at twitch.tv/MarcusB814. You can also find both of us on Twitter. I am at MarcusB814.
And I am at Nick Vern. That's NickVern. In this week's episode, we're talking about a whole list of things. Show topics include, but are not limited to, Marcus and I both finishing the finale of Clone Wars animated series. We get a whole bunch of new information about Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War that we want to talk about. And, of course, OTAR's newest game update. I was trying to make that like a drug commercial side effect.
Wow. That was really intense. So for anybody that wasn't listening and figured it out, Nick and I are sitting across from each other, or at least at a diagonal.
Yeah.
Holy shit, there's like this weird bug climbing on the mixer right now. That's fucking weird.
We're in Marcus's shop. So it's the quarantine-free podcast.
So my wife is still freaked out about it because Nick works in the ER, which I can completely understand.
Yeah, but I already had it. So.
Yeah, but I think my kids have already had it. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'm not afraid anymore. Like, if you want to wear a mask, keep your distance, sure, whatever, you're going to be fine. Anyway, moving on. I'm not a doctor. But the fact that we're sitting in front of each other is just magical right now for us.
It's great.
And Nick got to the shop, and I was still kind of working, and we ended up shooting the shit. So, like, we're recording like an hour and a half later than we usually would.
Yeah, usually we're done. We're finishing recording right now and starting to edit, and we're just starting this show.
Yeah, so, and we've got a lot to get into, so it's really a smorgasbord of what's going on.
Oh, what?
Smorgasbord?
I think it's Borg, but you pretty much nailed it.
Yeah, so we have a lot of things to talk about. The biggest thing I want to say is, Nick, it's really good to see you in person.
Hell yeah, you too, man.
And, like, I'm looking at my screen because I'm imagining you sitting at your desk, even though you're at, like, the corner of my eye. But you're still as ugly as always. And anyways, what have you been up to this week? Or so for the record, last week we were going to record, but instead Nick and I played fucking video games for, like, 4 hours. But anyways, Nick, what did you do these past couple weeks?
So, speaking of the video games we played last week, Marcus and I both finished the OG Black Ops campaign, which was epic. So once we realized that Cold War, which we're going to talk a whole lot about after the break, was a direct sequel to Black Ops, we're like, oh, well,
we talked about in the last episode.
Right. We gotta, we gotta go back and play the original campaign, which was pretty epic. Do you want to just go through that now?
Well, whatever. So I will say, what made it awesome? Okay, first of all, 2010 graphics, not that bad.
Not that bad. Yeah, especially for Call of Duty.
But, like, for me, the movement was so hokey. Like, forget, like, devs, I'm tipping my cap because you have come so far in movement in video games.
Like fluidity.
Yes, it felt like I was Super Mario, and like clearly I wasn't Super Mario. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was just blocky and it's hard to, like, clunky is what it felt like,
For sure. So also too, so I don't know what gave us this grand idea to do this, but we did it. And so obviously a single player campaign, you're playing it solo, right? So how do you play with somebody that is
also playing the same campaign? We're just like chatting on Discord, like, whoa, I forgot about this level.
Yeah, and it was pretty sweet. I was ahead of Nick by one level.
Yeah, just because you started before me.
Correct. I started like 30 minutes before you.
Yeah.
But it worked out well because, like, we were essentially living the story at the same time.
Yeah.
And it was fun to be able to interact with you and reminisce the old times.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're like, oh, my God, I remember this. And still to this day, I remember playing it in that first Bay of Pigs level.
Yeah.
Like the opening section blew my mind. Like that shit was intense as hell.
Oh yeah.
And like you think you actually kill Castro, and then at the end when you get kicked in the face,
You're like, psych, bitch.
yep. And it was pretty wild. Okay, so you want to know what I was looking at?
Yes.
Sidebar. Look inside the fence pole. Doesn't it look like a little alien that would pop out of your stomach? No. Like, see the fence? See the pole facing us. Look where the air handle is. Right on the edge of the table saw, closest to you. Look inside. Doesn't it look like the alien is popping out of your face?
Yes.
It looks like a dust or snake or something.
Yes.
I never sit at this level and look at the tools. And
Oh, there's like a chain of sawdust that looks like an alien or something hanging off
anyways.
of one of Marcus's tools.
So what I was saying is,
back at the ranch.
yeah, dude, in like just everything, like they threw all of the eggs in a basket in that one level.
Right.
And I
There's
was just-
vehicles. You're like, on the plane. You jump off the plane.
Yes.
It's like,
It was so good. But anyway,
it was interesting. Like I thought, going back and playing it now, it was so blatantly obvious that like Reznov wasn't real that Reznov was a figment of, 10-year-old spoilers here, but Reznov's a figment of Mason's imagination from 90% of the game, and he's basically got like split personality or whatever disorder. Ari's gonna correct me if she listens to this.
well, whatever it was.
Reznov is like essentially a different personality of Mason through most of it. And also, like, it's pretty clearly laid out that Mason is the one who killed Kennedy in this storyline, which is crazy.
Yeah, and it was just really fun to play, and it made me even more excited for the new game.
Right.
Which we just watched the multiplayer trailer like seconds before we started the show, and man, the graphical difference of 2010
versus 2020.
It was just
I
was blown away. But it was either way. It was really, really good to play it and to be able to hang out and like do a campaign that we both played 10 years ago,
right?
But play it now. And just for the record, everybody, 10 years ago, Nick would have never played on a PC, and now he pretty much only plays on a PC.
Yeah, I haven't. The only time I've touched my PlayStation is to pull up Hulu because it's attached to the TV in my room because the PC's not.
Sure.
So, one last thing about Call of Duty. You know what's interesting? So I was 15 when that game came out, and most people are kind of idiots when they're 15, myself included. So I was not paying attention to the dates in the campaign at all, and didn't realize like, Kennedy's assassination happens like basically right after that first level, because the first level's in like 1963, 2 or 3 or something like that. So like Mason kills Kennedy in the beginning of the game, and then it's like, because it's majorly teased that you killed him afterwards, and there's footage of Mason being in Dallas or whatever when at the motorcade, at the parade or whatever it was, and so my pea-brain 15-year-old self thought like, oh, now he goes and kills Kennedy after all this. Like, no, the game ends in 1968. Kennedy's been dead for Kennedy dies like right at the beginning, basically.
Right.
It's basically the story is Mason gets brainwashed in Vorkuta. He gets trained to kill Kennedy, and then Reznov adds in, also go kill, the 3 guys in the game, Steiner and the 2 Russian guys whose name I forgot.
Right.
And so Mason kills Kennedy secretly, and either the CIA let him or not. I don't know what the deal with that was. That's like teased at the end. Then he's fixated the whole game on killing the 3 people that Reznov like implanted in his head at the same time. So that's why like he's fixated on that throughout the rest of the game.
Right. Well, dude, can you imagine being in a place like that? Like, I'm sure the brainwashing would be easy to do.
Oh, 100%. If you're just locked in like an underground cave prison,
yeah,
that's fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So anywho, I've been in more frivolous things. Speaking of Hulu, I've been watching a lot of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Not that it's a whole lot to talk about, but it's a comedy about a police precinct, which is ridiculous and funny. I jammed some substantial after we finished the Black Ops campaign. I wanted to play Call of Duty more, so I jammed a bunch of Modern Warfare on the multiplayer side of things.
Yeah, so maybe because I'm an old man.
Yeah.
I really like the multiplayer.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not a like plunder is fun.
In terms of the Warzone section, you
Right,
mean?
but like I guess I'm not a big fan of the battle royale
Yeah.
because my whole motto of pray and spray doesn't
apply.
work there.
Yeah.
And like I don't enjoy it because it's always like I make it through 1 or 2 rings and then I just die.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe if I played it more and more and more, I would do good and I'd get better. But I don't know. I like the intenseness of,
Multiplayer.
yeah, where some people may say a Warzone or a Battle Royale is intense because, like, you could be doing great and all of a sudden you get shot in the back and it's over.
Right.
But that's not, I'm not a sneaky, okay, I have 3
Tactical
guys.
guy.
Yeah, tactical kind of guy. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I do agree.
I think same thing for me. I definitely enjoy the multiplayer more, but I think it's Warzone's just it's almost like a realistic wartime scenario. You know what I mean? Like well, this is only going to make sense to like to me and you, but multiplayer is more like speedball, whereas like competitive speedball in paintball, whereas Warzone's like competitive woodsball where you got to be tactical. You know what I mean? So it's a different feel.
100%.
I think the multiplayer's like quick, not pleasure, but like dopamine hits, I guess. It's just like, yeah, go, do it, and done. You know, match is over.
Yeah. No, for
Warzone,
sure.
it's a lot more like prolonged. But anyways. And yeah, so I also, Marcus and I both recently finished the Clone Wars animated series, which is pretty epic. We can talk about, you want to talk about it now or talk about it after?
I don't care. We can talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, anyways.
We'll talk
go
about it
ahead.
after the break. It's part of the intro.
Oh, whatever. Anyway.
There's certain rules. Show
Anyway.
topics.
So thanks for asking. What I've been doing is, believe it or not, so I'll give my SOTOR update. So Death Star Troopers, we had a couple subs last week. So we went back to hard mode gods. We did some more progression on Aveli and Esne. The team should get them down this week. So I'm really looking forward to that. Excuse me, damage control. I actually had to make a last-minute call-out, which I don't like to do. I just had a bunch of shit going on, and there's no way my real life was going to allow me to play with them on Saturday night. So I'm hoping this week we can beat the tanks on Nightmare and Explosive Conflict, which I'm really looking forward to that. And then I obviously, like Nick was saying, I played a shit ton of Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really looking forward to the new game because the Treyarch. I said this last week. The Treyarch series is mine, but in weird kind of stuff for me to do. This week, I've watched more TV at night than I have in 3 years.
Wow.
Like, so I don't know what did it. Something. Oh, maybe it was the Mandalorian announcement that the Mandalorian was coming out October 30th.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've never finished Clone Wars. I've never finished
Rebels.
And I'm like, I just need to do it. And I sat down and kind of jammed. Anyways.
Jammed through Clone Wars. I forgot we watched Rebels too. We're about probably halfway through season 2.
No, I'm on halfway through season 2.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how many episodes there were to Rebels.
Yeah, there's a I didn't realize either until you were like, how many episodes are in a season? And it's 22.
Right, and I know my Star Wars rank is just, I'm losing ranks. Like, people are downvoting me right now by saying all this stuff. But, like, the show is really good.
Okay, so season 1 was not great.
Well, it was a character builder.
Yeah.
It focused on each individual character and build their storyline. And by the end, they introduced the Grand Inquisitor, and he was like, okay, that's the big bad.
Right.
And, and then they beat it, and you felt good and all that stuff. But, like,
you started to get into the first season focuses just on the core characters and
Correct.
builds them.
Yes.
I think, obviously, they did that knowing there's going to be a second season.
Correct.
Because you can't, if that's like, I feel like for other shows, if you did that for a first season, you would not get a second season. You know what I mean? Like, because it's not like a compelling enough story to tie into the Star Wars world.
Well, when there's
it was
22 episodes.
right.
I would say by the end of the first season, it was getting good.
Oh yeah, for sure. But like through call it the last 5 episodes, it was like, oh okay, now I'm really but it was basically once they started to like broaden out past Lothal, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
when you start getting into the wider galaxy and expanding into like this is actually the Star Wars universe. You know what I mean? Not just like a little.
Yeah, but they wanted
under a
you. They
microscope.
wanted you to know who the main characters were.
Oh, I totally
so
get
in
it.
In the
yeah.
second season, when they're focusing less on the individual character and more as a group,
Right.
and more other characters,
Right.
it really expands. So, granted, everybody listening is like, I can't believe these idiots have not watched it.
Right.
But again, like I said, for the past years, I looked at it as, why would I sit and watch a TV show and do nothing?
Right.
And watch a TV show when I could be playing an awesome video game.
Right. I get it.
And something got in me. I think it was the Mandalorian announcement that I was just like,
We need
listen,
to catch up,
it's time.
especially for like Ahsoka. We gotta catch up on the Ahsoka stuff because if she's in the Mandalorian, I like to know like what's been happening.
So you guys are all going to kill me here. I don't think Ahsoka looks good in the Rebels. She doesn't
No.
like the character, like how they
The art
like put her.
style?
Yeah, the art style, like where they've like aged her.
Yeah.
She doesn't even look like Ahsoka.
She looks like somebody who's the same race as Ahsoka, but doesn't look like Ahsoka.
Yeah, she. I wasn't like when I saw her. I only knew because of the markings.
Right.
But like I was like, is that really Ahsoka? Because like she didn't like when I picture older Ahsoka, I don't picture her to look like that. But that's like, this isn't my Star Wars. This is my Star Wars kind of a
Right.
thing. Like
Right.
anybody can have an opinion, but like I'm just gonna say it. Like George Lucas is the man because he created Star Wars,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Dave Filoni saved Star Wars.
Oh, 1,000%.
Like he might be more important, other than the creation of it,
yeah.
than George Lucas.
Yeah. I'd say so.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He
And
saved it.
Yeah, he saved Star Wars. Like the content is crazy. Anyways, in SOTOR news,
In SOTOR news, game update 6.1.3 dropped yesterday,
so
September 9th.
Yeah, so basically, we'll just go through a couple of the highlights. So the ranked PvP rewards, as we've mentioned before, they've officially released the update where you can get the replica series rewards. So basically, like season 3 rewards
Yeah.
from ranked, you can now get those with the ranked tokens,
Oh, that's cool.
which is pretty sweet because they're going to release them in sections. Because if, let's say, you missed out on the Furious lightsaber, which your lightsaber is on fire,
Oh, that's cool.
yes, you missed out on it by whatever points, or maybe you weren't playing the game then.
Right.
But now you're a hardcore ranked PvP player. Now you can earn the credits or the Warzone tokens, whatever they are.
Yep.
Now you can earn it and get that. So like you can almost like it's a way to like get the older content back into the game.
Yeah.
And
And let people get stuff that they might have missed out on.
right, and something that's positive that because I just talked to Kogus on the phone,
Mhm.
he said the biggest thing that he's excited for is now all of them are all the ranked PvP reward tokens are now legacy currency. So now you can play all of your characters in ranked PvP, and all of the currency goes into your legacy bank rather than
okay.
individual characters, which is pretty sweet because that means that's telling you, hey, keep playing and like play alts and
Yeah. Play different classes.
play different classes and just get as many tokens as you can.
Right.
Where before it was per player, so
Right.
you basically could play one player. That's it.
Right. You had to pick a class and stick with it in order to actually
Right.
use any of your PvP awards.
Right. And now something that I'm excited for because like when you play on the Xbox or the PlayStation, I feel like achievements are big, or in PlayStation World it's what the hell is it called?
Trophies.
Yes. It's trophies. Dude, you can't stop the shop, dude. Shop is the shop. There's bugs everywhere.
Sorry, I just killed another bug and it was
Yeah.
distracting.
Anyway, so speaking of achievements, with Game Update 6.1.3,
Yep.
they've released all the Steam achievements now. So when you log in, supposedly, now I haven't done it because I've been working, but tomorrow I will log into Steam and it should all of a sudden pop up with all the achievements that I've already gotten in game,
Right.
and it just transfers now because it's unlocked. And there are currently 191 achievements on Steam for players to unlock.
Holy shit.
So
That's a ridiculous amount of
so
achievements.
and then there's trading cards because they have the digital trading cards.
Oh, yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Now, Uprisings, Nick, you've done one or two with me.
Yep.
Okay, they're a faster style of Flashpoint.
Mm-hmm.
They've been pretty much a joke since day one. And when 6.0 dropped, basically you would do an Uprising and it would give you no gear, no rewards, nothing.
Okay.
Which
Just like a little XP, and that's basically it.
Yeah, it was. So nobody has done them,
Right.
but they're really good. They're short. Like me and you could go do one in 15 minutes, and we're done.
Right.
Which for me, I've always mentioned that quick fix. You
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like I just want to play a game. I've only got 20 minutes or a half an hour. I just want to play something fast. Like I could do an Uprising in that short time, get a quick fix, have some fun, and leave.
Right.
But the rewards sucked. Now they've increased the rewards on the bosses, so you're essentially getting the same rewards you were getting from Flashpoints
Okay.
to do them.
Yep.
Which the Flashpoints in 6.0 are the best way to
Level up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
rank up and get your gear.
Oh, that's
So yeah, that's huge.
That's nice. It lets you incentivizes you to see more of the content that you otherwise might have skipped,
Right.
which is cool.
There's two more things, but the first one I'm going to let Nick take care of.
It is Double XP.
We had no idea this was coming.
The Double XP event is back, starting next week on September 15th and lasting until October 13th. Players can enjoy a full month of Double XP, Valor, and Renown.
So if you're like me and need to level up some characters, this is the time. Or if you're trying to get that Renown rank 999 achievement, this will be the time for you to grind that out. There's other things you can do, but go to SOTOR.com if you want to read the full list. But before I leave this,
Yep.
shame on you, BioWare.
Ruh-roh.
Shame.
What happened?
How dare you?
Uh-huh.
They nerfed the Marauder.
Dude, you shouldn't have been bragging about how much damage you were doing. Wow, I just stuttered hardcore. Did you hear that? Sounded like
G-unit. That's what it sounded like to me. So,
damage.
yeah, damage. Well, so here's the thing. So whenever you jump, like the Marauder is the only class in the game, really, that when you start an encounter, you really need them to count down. 3, 2, 1, starting the fight.
Okay.
Because when you start off, you have no rage. You actually have to use an ability to get 30 stacks of rage, and then you need another button to generate like your abilities.
Right.
And they've taken some of that away, and they've nerfed some of it. Like, why? And then there's other classes that have been overpowered since the beginning of 6.0, but they've never even mentioned those classes. To me, I look at it as whoever in BioWare is playing these classes, they're like, oh, no, they're overpowered, so we're not going to touch them.
Right.
And we'll just try to make everybody else weak. That's really what it seems like, because there's one class, the PT Power Tech, they're outperforming in everything.
Huh.
And nothing has been mentioned about it, which is kind of weird. And now once you've touched my Marauders, even though I don't actually main a Marauder anymore.
Yeah, you're more of a tank.
Yeah.
Like a jug.
Yeah,
is it?
jug tank. Yep. But now that you're attacking my favorite class in the game,
it's personal.
it is personal, and I think it sucks. And you guys should focus on classes that actually need to be taken down a notch, not the best class in the game, which is the Marauder. And shout out to Kitty Kisses. His favorite boss encounter is Brontes, and that's mine too. #bromance. Anyways, in guild news,
Mega is Friday, September 25th at 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll be doing some achievement hunting, and details are inbound.
So the reason why I'm saying achievement hunting, because there's a bunch of things that we want to do. We haven't narrowed it down just yet. We have some people that have asked for the Fleet Datacron, but I don't know if we're going to do that this month, just because last month, a couple weeks ago, we had our mega event, and it was
Mega.
Yeah, and it was Datacrons and stuff like that. So it's kind of one of those things like, do we want to do it again? Another Datacron hunt? Maybe not this month, maybe next month, because the Fleet Datacron is really its own event. There's so much preparation.
It takes forever, right?
Dude, forever. It's like 40 minutes to like an hour to just set it up.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, that one is crazy. But anyways, I only have one Datacron left to get.
Okay. Where is it?
It's on Onderon, and it's an instance one, so I have to do it alone.
Oh. So you can't do it this mega.
No, and I probably can't do it because I'm terrible at all of that stuff. But
You're
anyways,
terrible at platforming.
in Star Wars. So we want to talk about movement. We're talking about a game that was created, that the movement was probably made in 2007 for SWTOR.
Right.
Movement is terrible in 2007.
100%.
If they move movement to 2020, I'd be fucking jumping all around. I'd get every Datacron possible, right?
Right.
And if I could use a controller to jump and an analog stick, I would be much better. The whole like mouse and like the space bar to jump, it's just and try to platform with a keyboard and mouse is not fun.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Anyways, so if you have any ideas for a mega, please let me know. All suggestions are always welcome. I love it when we get some suggestions because it just makes it, well, easier for me.
Yeah.
But also, too, maybe you have something that's like thought out of the box.
Right.
You know, because like I'm always like, do I want to do this? And I feel like I just did X event, but really I haven't done it
in 6 months or something.
Or a year, but it feels like it was yesterday.
Right.
So if you have ideas, please get a hold of me. Like I said on Twitter, or Discord is probably the best. Anyways.
Every other Friday is Flashpoint Friday for the
Aerotech.
Thank you, Aerotech Ice Mount. Ask in the Discord for more details. And hey, speaking of details in Discord, if all this sounds fun to you, go to aie-guild.org, jump in the Discord, and ask for a guild invite, whether or not you play Star Wars: The Old Republic or any of the other games we play, including Call of Duty or Zelda or any of the other games we play. We'd love to have you.
And just as a Call of Duty thing,
yep.
We in Modern Warfare, we do have the AIE clan set up.
Yep.
And when Cold War comes out, we will be transferring over to Cold War, and we will be creating the clan there. So you'll be able to get a hold of Nick or myself.
And come on down and play.
And we got to get Nick. We got to get Nick more on Discord. But anyways.
Yeah. I have 3 guns in Modern Warfare Gold.
The next game I will do that. When I get the gun, I won't mod it right away. I'll just get my 75 kills with no scope or anything like that.
No attachments.
I'll do it step by step.
Right.
Where not just like put the red dot on right away because that's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I do want a golden gun.
You don't have for that. So at least in Modern Warfare, how it works is you have to level the gun up first. You're better off just like doing whatever you want to it and just leveling it up. Or I use the double XP weapon tokens to like just get the level up, because until your gun's max level, you don't have all the camos unlocked. You don't even have the ability to unlock the camos unlocked yet. So like you have to max out the gun to get the last set of camo. I don't remember what it is. Call it Dragon or something, right? And then that's like, you have to get 10 mounted kills or something, whatever the last one is, or long shots with a submachine gun or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's going to take you forever.
So,
but to even start making progress on that, you have to max the gun out. So it doesn't matter. Just play through it however you want first. Then when you have all the camos, the ability to unlock the camos unlocked, then you can focus on specific stuff.
Sure. In other news, a friend of the show has released their first episode of their new podcast called
The Gaming Persona.
It's hosted by our good friend Dr. Gameology and Jenny. They are going to be focusing, if I have not listened yet, it was just released today. I talked to Doc today. If I understand it correctly, and I could be butchering this and I'm sorry, it's going to be focused on like the mental health of video games and like what that kind of genre, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty excited for. Right now, I know you can get it on Spotify, Buzzsprout, and Stitcher.
Perfect.
Stay tuned for Google and iTunes. But, yeah, good for them.
Go check out The Gaming Persona. And with that, I have to pee. So we'll be right back.
Geez, Nick, hurry up. We're trying to finish this podcast.
And we're back. So today we're discussing all kinds of news we had coming out.
Smorgasbord.
A smorgasbord of different topics.
Smorgasbord.
Smorgasbord. No, it's a Borg. Because it's like, Borg is, I don't know, Swedish or something for like food of some kind. I don't know. I'm pulling this out of my ass. But anyways. So first things first, the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S, which is, they're both very tricky to say and hear the difference. They're both coming out November 10th, which is dope.
Yes.
And
for me, I'm a PC gamer, but for me
too.
Next gen is here. New video cards come out September 24th, I think.
Yep.
And in next gen consoles come out November 10th, so the future is bright.
I love the memes online of like the consoles getting crushed by the new series of video cards. It's like, the consoles have finally kind of caught up to PC gaming, and then Nvidia just comes over and goes, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Well,
bitch?
so it's the cycle, right? So
Yeah.
here's where this is what I was taught way back when I first started PC gaming.
Yeah.
So when a console comes out, a brand new console,
Yep.
the graphics are pretty much even
Right.
to what the PC current gen is, right?
Yep.
But where in the beginning they're about even, but as the life of the console grows, a year
2 years.
a year and a half in, that's where the PC starts to climb that quality level because games can be pushed more and more on a PC.
Yeah.
And, I'm not saying like the PC is always going to have a better choice of graphical options, but
Right.
when the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 come out, the graphics are going to be dope
Right.
and they're going to stand up to our computers. But as time goes on, it's just going to
Fall by the wayside.
yes.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that they're not going to look good. You can't build a PC for what the consoles cost.
Right.
That's pretty much what it comes down to.
100%.
And so I feel like a PC gamer, you're almost dedicated to the craft rather than the system.
Right. You have to spend quite
Yeah.
a large amount of money to get like, dramatically better performance than what these current consoles can do.
Example, I don't actually need a new video card,
Right.
but I want to be able to play my games with ray tracing.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. That's the only reason why I want to do it.
I don't think that's unreasonable.
No, and I want... As soon as I can't play a game on Ultra, it's
Your
time
car-
for a new card.
Your card's basically
Yep,
trash.
because, hear me out, I'm finally at a financial point where I can afford that, but I also truly believe if you're going to play a game on medium on a PC, just go buy a fucking console.
Yeah, it's going to be cheaper.
It's game over. Because
Yeah.
now you can plug a keyboard and mouse into your console
Right. And
play games. You might as well just do that and stop complaining that you don't have, I don't want to say don't have the money, but if you're not going to, like the reason a PC game for me is to, other than some of the games like World of Warcraft or SOTOR that you can't play on a console,
Right.
for the most part, all the games are on consoles. So if you can't afford to upgrade your computer and you're playing video games on Potato, okay,
Yeah.
then just buy a console.
Right. It doesn't
Because
do
and some people could say, oh, the graphics don't matter to me. Then you're crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because, like, I had to turn SOTOR on Potato this past week
Why?
because we did a world boss and there was nothing I could do to, like, get my frame rates better.
Oh.
I put it on Potato. I can't ever imagine actually playing a game like that.
When on my old laptop when I tried playing SOTOR, I had to run it at like
Very low.
like low or medium or something.
I turned it on very low to play this boss, and it was awful.
Why was it so?
Because it's an old game, and they're trying to do more and more things, and
In it, and
these
it just,
bosses there's so much going on. It breaks the computer.
yeah,
It breaks the game.
right.
You know what I mean? And it just runs like complete dog shit.
Right.
But anyways, back to the Xbox.
There's 2 price points, which is pretty dope.
Yes, that was really intriguing. So the last gen, they came out with the Xbox One, and
Yeah.
then they came out with the Xbox One
S, I
S,
think.
which was the more affordable system.
Yeah.
and then they came out with the Xbox One X,
Right.
which was the super beefed up version.
Right.
Same thing with the PlayStation 4 Pro. But the thing that is really intriguing to me, and I'm going to Google it, is what's the price point again, Nick?
It's $299 for the cheaper one and $499 for the mega version, the X versus S. I'm pretty sure anyway. It's $300 versus $500.
Right. So it's all about, okay, so here's the Xbox Series S.
Yep, the cheaper one.
Yep. Xbox Series S is $299.
Yep.
Xbox Series X, $499.
Mm-hmm.
So the Xbox Series X is native.
Okay.
It's a native 4K machine. It's meant
Okay.
to run games at 4K, 60 frames a second. That is the difference. That's the main difference for it. And you get the optical drive.
Well, that's nice.
Okay, so you can still get a disc.
Yeah. So for people who might not realize what that means, native 4K. So a lot of times, say you are playing a game that, like Call of Duty, right? Or sorry, Black Ops, from 2010. That was only ever really made to go up to like a 1080p pixels. So like they only programmed that many pixels in when you're looking at stuff. And if you have a 4K monitor, your computer's just gonna like upscale it to 4K. So it's not actually rendering 4K number of pixels all the time. It's only rendering the 1080 and then sort of upscaling it. So the Xbox, whereas the Xbox Series X, the beefier one, is built to render all of those 4K pixels in games rather than a 1080 that they upscale, which is a lot. That's 4-ish times more pixels than normal. So it's a lot more graphical power that it's needed to do that.
Right. So the Xbox Series X is 4K native, and it has a 1 terabyte SSD.
Okay.
And it
So
has,
basically, it'll hold Black Ops, and that's it.
yeah. And
Sorry, Cold War.
Oh, you mean Modern Warfare?
Well, whatever.
Yeah, and it is and it has an optical drive. The Xbox Series X has a 512 S. Oh, I said X again.
Yeah.
The Xbox Series S is $299.
Okay.
It is native 1440p, which is 2K.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Fine. Yeah.
And I'm actually going to talk about that because I actually know about this.
Okay.
And the there's no optical drive, so no disk drive, all digital.
Okay.
And it has a 512 gig SSD.
It's a little small, but I get it.
But you can buy an external hard drive for them.
Right.
Because they're Microsoft, you can buy any external hard drive and it works.
That's true.
So your external hard drive that I'm staring at right now, you could just hold your Xbox games. So the only thing that I'm not sure of, and I'm looking at this picture, I'm going to spin my computer around. Now this could just be the front.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
But the Xbox Series S looks like it only has one USB port.
Okay.
If there might be one in the back of it,
Right.
the back of the system to plug in an external hard drive. But that is a little concern to me if there's really only one USB port.
Yeah, because a lot of people like to
My Xbox Pro controller, I use a wire for it.
Right.
So,
If that's taken up, then you can't do anything else with it. That's kind of rough.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure on how all that works or is
Right.
going to work. But a couple things. So, okay, here we go. So, what it's saying, the Xbox Series X is going to be able to hit 4K at 120 frames a second without upscaling. Wow.
That's intense.
And the Series S
The
target
cheaper one, yeah.
is 1440p at 120 frames a second.
That's completely reasonable.
That's crazy. Okay?
Yeah.
So here's where I know about this. So I have a Titan XP GPU, my video card.
Yep.
It's from 2017. It was the best of the best of the best.
Yeah.
Everybody says to me, "Oh, why are you buying the best video card they make?" I said, "I'm not buying the best video card they make for 2020. I'm buying the best video card they're making for 2024
Right.
or 2023,
Right.
whatever that year is, because the only card that beat my Titan in the last 2 series was the newest, the last card, the 2080 Ti, and it beat it by a lot because of ray tracing.
Right.
And the memory changed and all that. But I still play all my games on Ultra.
Right.
Here's where technology has changed. Hearing that you're going to be able to play a game at 4K, 120 frames a second, is mind-boggling to me, because that's telling me that the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5
Yep.
are going to have a better GPU than my Titan.
Right. Or at
Because-
least they'll perform better, yeah.
Right. So I play my Titan. I have plenty of power. I have plenty of memory. I have plenty of everything. My computer is fine when it comes to that. But what I'm not sure on right now is I barely get 4K at 60 frames a second
Right.
with my GPU. And that is why I've been so torn about going. I'm pretty sure I'm going back to 1080p, 144 hertz.
Mm-hmm.
Because I played when we were at PAX, we played on, I think it was an Alienware, and that shit was like a 34-inch curved monitor. It was
Preposterous.
1080p, and it was 144 or 200 hertz or something like that. It looked incredible.
Yeah. That was great.
And your computer, your screen is 144 hertz. My laptop
Yep.
runs at 1080p, 120 hertz.
Yep.
And it sometimes looks better than my, not crisper. It looks better.
Like for
than-
videos and things.
Yep. No, for games.
Yeah.
It looks
Yeah.
better than my
4K monitors.
correct at home at 60 frames a second.
Right.
So I'm really intrigued by this. I'm curious to see what PlayStation does. Because honestly now, I'm just talking about moms and dads.
Yeah.
Christmas, kids.
Mm-hmm.
If moms and dads know there's a new console and that console is $300,
That's
and
way
you
better.
say I want a PlayStation 5 and it's $500 or $600, and they're like, well, why don't you get an Xbox? It's $299. I can buy that for you
Yeah.
for Christmas. They're going to take the Xbox.
100%.
They're not going to say, no, I want the PlayStation. We can't afford it. Well,
Right.
then just get me the Xbox. Xbox is winning, man.
If-
Unless PlayStation says we're coming out with a smaller option, dude, Microsoft kind of put it on the table.
100%. I think that's a lot of. That's a really good performing console too. Like the average kid's not gonna notice the difference
Right.
between the 4K and not. Like, do you even have a 4K monitor or TV in your house to like see that? You know what I mean?
I do.
No, you do. But I'm saying like the average household might not even have a 4K TV, so the Xbox Series X is not even gonna be relevant for a lot of those households.
So what I'm going to tell you about 4K versus 1080p,
Yeah.
what I can tell you that I know for a fact, it's just like you can't literally see the difference,
Yeah.
but what you can see is everything is crisper.
I get
Like
what
the
you're saying.
lines are crispier, it's brighter. Like it's when I go to my Stronghold in SOTOR, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Compared to when I go on the 1080p, it's crisp, but it's not as crisp. Like the color isn't as crisp.
Yeah. Like
It-
the lines are
yes.
different.
So, and then what Xbox has done, which the PlayStation has not done,
Yep.
and this is where I'm going to hate, they've created, and it's because it's Microsoft, it's something called Smart Delivery. Games for the new consoles aren't going to take up as much space on the Series S and Series X because they have Smart Delivery where they're like, it's almost like a zip drive. They're making
okay.
the files smaller. So your 500 gig hard drive is going to
Go last.
Yep.
Go longer. Go further.
Yep. It's I'm telling you, this Xbox Series S is pretty man, I might buy that just because.
I know. Like It's so. That's
it's $300.
That's so affordable. There's
Yes.
like if
you want to be gangster and get the X Series X, sure. Or use the Series S, and if you use it a lot, save and trade it in and or
Right.
sell it for, $200 or whatever and buy the Series X.
right.
I'm telling you, man, this is a big willy move by Xbox.
Big dick move.
Yeah, big dick move.
I think so too. That
here
that
we
might
go.
sway a lot of PC people to be like, who might like, for example, I know a lot of the guys that I play paintball with, they have Xboxes, so I don't. So it's hard for me to play games with them. But I might be like, fuck it, I'll buy the Series S for $300.
So the Xbox Series X GPU is light years better. I'm looking at the specs. Is light years better
Than your Titan XP?
No, than the Series S.
Oh, okay.
The processor, they're both 8-core AMD Ryzen Zen 2s.
Okay.
The Series X is a 3.8 gigahertz, where the Series S is a 3.4.
Okay.
Fine. The RAM X has 16 gigs, where the S has 10 gigs. Plenty.
It's
Fucking
fine.
plenty.
Yeah. Not a big deal there.
They're both ray traced. Oh man, dude, I'm buying the Xbox Series S. Done. Question answered, and that's going to become my new hub for my platforms, Netflix, Hulu, whatever you're using.
Yeah, exactly.
But there was also another huge announcement this week. There's a new Zelda game coming out.
I know.
So Breath of the Wild took this world by storm. So all of the all the Zeldas have always been in like this certain era.
Yep.
And then they came out with this Breath of the Wild, which was like thousands of years earlier.
Right.
Than all the rest of the Zelda like eras.
Yeah.
And like they threw in this Calamity Ganon, and everybody was like, what the hell is a Calamity, and all these things. So now the new Zelda, there's the Hyrule Warriors games, which is like Dynasty Warriors, which is basically one guy versus 1,000 enemies, and you're just hack and slash through.
Yeah, that's fun.
But they're bringing the story back 1,000 years to the beginning of what Breath of the Wild explained, how the calamity happened,
right,
and all this. So essentially, you're going to lose at the end of the game.
Basically, yeah. Our Link's going to get sealed in that tomb, and all the champions are going to die and stuff. You know.
Right. So basically, it's going to end up being a prequel.
Right. That's still pretty cool, though.
Yeah, man. And again, I think that comes out November 20th.
I know. November's so packed.
Well, and I don't know who's listened and who's played Breath of the Wild. Like, I've never beat it. I should.
I got to just go do that.
But, like, it's really, okay, I'm going to be honest. It's really hard for me to pick up a game like that again.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, unfortunately, the best thing for you is to probably erase it and start over.
Yeah. It's hard because you're like, oh, what was I doing? Where am I?
Well, where am I? How do I play this game?
Right.
And now you're at a level where, like, the bosses are pretty hard.
So you have to, like, know how to play.
Right.
Not, like, forgiving, like, in the beginning.
Yeah, and, like, there's some people that still only just play that game.
You know.
Over and over and over. And for me, I really want to play that game, but I'm too linear for that. But anyway, so back to this new Zelda game. So Nintendo even dropping the bomb. And something tells me that that's Nintendo's way of saying that Breath of the Wild 2 is not anywhere near ready.
I think so, too. I think they're like, look, we're giving you some content, but Breath of the Wild 2 is going to take forever. Especially because they don't release broken games. They don't ever release things unless they're fucking perfect.
Especially, and so I did some research. Breath of the Wild was a launch game for the Switch.
Yeah.
I feel like the next Switch
will have Breath of the Wild 2.
That's going to be the
big launch title.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, yeah, because, hey, buy the new Switch Pro or Switch 2 or whatever it is, switched up, whatever it is, and chicka switched up. Anyway. Reswitch. That's a good one, too.
Yeah.
I feel like, hey, buy a new Switch, you're going to get a game with hundreds of hours of content.
Right. Boom.
See you later. Game over for everybody who buys a new Switch.
Yeah, slap a new Mario Kart in there, you're good to go.
You don't even need the Mario Kart.
Yeah,
you're going to be obsessed with Listen,
Overcooked 3, Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
12, whatever it is.
Yeah. The thing about Breath of the Wild for me that is so unbelievable is that there's an endless amount of stuff. And I feel like for me, if I was playing that game when it first came out and there were no guides. There was
Yeah.
no help, and you're just wandering the world. And if you get stuck, you're pretty much on your own. Like you
Right.
could go to the subreddit and say, "Hey, has anybody found this yet?" Or you know what I
Right.
mean, and like be a part of the community of the release. I feel like you'd get so much more out of it.
Yeah, definitely to like be because now if you my headphones are staticky because
Yeah.
I stepped on the cord. If you get stuck on something, you can just look it up and you get immediately you're done. There's
Yeah.
no like big mystery to it. There might be for a few minutes or something, but like then you can just look it up and you're done.
No, there's no mystery.
And I feel
Everything
like
has been done.
right.
Like people have beat the game with no gear.
That's insane.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I've seen somebody do a speed run, and I think they said they beat it in like 20 minutes or something like that.
that's crazy.
Like they went and did whatever they had to do to get the master sword. And like I can't even beat a regular enemy. Like I die so much in that game.
I got the Master Sword, but you need a lot of fucking health to do that. So you have to like do a lot of shrines. I don't know how they beat that in 20 minutes
I
and
don't
got
know.
the Master Sword.
I don't know what it is. Well, dude, but some of these players, it's all they do.
I know, that's crazy.
Like it's like that video I saw of them. This guy like shot an exploding arrow against the wall, which pushed him off the inertia.
Right.
And as he was floating, he pulled out his like little hang glider.
Yeah.
Flew for a second, turned that, threw a bomb on the ground, which created something, which pushed him up, and all of a sudden he landed on top of a mountain.
Yeah.
Like, how many times did that guy try that
No kidding. To figure that out.
to figure it out?
Even if someone else figured it out and then he's got to practice it still. You know what I mean?
Or just climbing a mountain.
Right.
Like, and you look up and you're like, I wonder what's up there. Climb up and find out.
Right.
And then you get in, you're halfway there, and you realize your stamina sucks, and you die. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's just, I don't know. I feel like if I'm a part of the community in the beginning, I'll actually beat it.
Right.
But I feel like in order to play Breath of the Wild 2, you should really beat Breath of the Wild 1.
I'm 100% yes. Yeah. But I think I have 2 or 3, maybe even 3 of the like the dungeons done.
Oh, so you're close.
Yeah, like there's no excuse for me to not just go fucking beat it.
You should.
I think what I need, I don't have the fire one done. I think I did the desert one first. I did the water one, and I think I even have the flying one. No, I'm in the flying dungeon actually, because I think I talked about it on the podcast. Like I need to just go fucking finish it. So I said, screw it, let me get into the flying dungeon. I'm in the flying dungeon right now.
You should totally just go beat it.
Yeah,
Just because then at least you're prepared for
right.
the new one and suck it up.
Yeah,
Because what game are you playing other than Call of Duty right now? Nothing?
just Call of Duty. The Outer Worlds, but I'm like stagnant because I don't have that much time.
Or have you lost interest?
A combo, I guess. It's fine. It's just like I want it to be Fallout, and it's not Fallout. And I love part of the reason why I love Fallout so much is the lore, and it's totally different lore. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's sci-fi. Well, I guess it's all sci-fi. But
Yeah, but this is like in
It's-
space sci-fi.
well, you like the Fallout lore.
Yeah, I do. Big time.
Yeah.
This has the Fallout gameplay, which I also like, but one of the big reasons I like any story game is the lore behind it.
Sure.
So like the lore behind Fallout is a big reason why is a pretty substantial chunk.
I feel the same way about the Outer Worlds for you as I do about Jedi Fallen Order.
For you.
I
You-
want to beat it. I've watched no spoilers. I have no idea what happens. I
Yeah.
know that they're saying there's going to be a second one, so clearly Cal lives
Right.
in some capacity.
Right.
It would be cool if he got turned to the dark side
That would be cool.
at the end. And number 2 is he's like Vader's or apprentice or the Emperor's secret apprentice. I don't know. Anyways, or Darth Xana's. But anyway, so
Darth Xana? Is that what you said?
yeah.
Wait, think about the lore of the time frame that you're talking about. What else could Cal be that's on the dark side? Think about Rebels.
Darth Maul
Well, yeah, Darth Maul. Well, no, but like what could...
or an Inquisitor.
Boom. That would be crazy.
Yeah, but he's supposedly the last Padawan.
Right.
So yeah, that would be sweet too. But anyways,
Yeah.
so
Sorry, I
that's
was just trying to get you to think outside the box.
no, of course. I want to beat that, but I never click the button to log in
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah, because it's not a game style that you really enjoy. It's like the flip side of my the Outer Worlds argument almost.
But
You know?
I love the Star Wars story.
Right. You
So,
like the story, but
when
the
I
gameplay
stream
is
it,
not.
Yeah, when I stream it and when I streamed it, you saw it something happened, that bounty hunter captured me, and I was like, holy shit, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
But like, I guess like the single play, maybe I've just become a real MMO player, or I'm a multiplayer player.
Yeah.
Multiplayer.
No,
Multipass?
multiplayer player. You got
Multipass.
it. Multipass.
Yeah, because like I like to play with friends, Call of Duty, and I like to play SOTOR, but I really like group events.
Right.
I like doing stuff with people. I like operations. Like I like all that stuff. And sidebar, shout out to the University of Coruscant. Awesome episodes. If you guys haven't listened to that podcast, please go do.
100%.
They're this season / semester, they are doing
Sith Lords?
Sith Lords, and it's a fantastic podcast. Anyways, back to the ranch. So, I suck completely. Nick sucks completely.
At what?
Finishing shows.
Oh, yes.
So, I never finished the Clone Wars.
I didn't either.
Back when
I had 3 episodes and I didn't finish it.
yeah, so those are the best 3 episodes.
I know. Yeah.
I was so into it in the beginning. I think I even owned season 1, 2, 3, and 4 on DVD or Blu-ray.
I think you're right. I think I remember seeing that in your apartment.
Yeah. So my apartment.
Oh my god. What was the terrible street in the hood?
Yeah, it was in the hood. Anyway, so
yeah.
the what I was saying is Armory Street.
Armory Street. That's what it was. Yes.
Hood. Anyway, so I was really into it, and then I just stopped watching it, maybe because of video games or whatever. And
I feel like it got a little stagnant. That wasn't your fault.
Well, I just think it was. I think at that point, like, I don't know. I was just
There's other things happening.
Yes. So anyway, so I went back and finished it, and I told Nick I was finishing. He's like, "Oh fuck, I got to step it up too and get it done." And
Right.
I'm like, "Oh shit."
So that was this week.
Yep, that was this week. So I finished it. Like when.
Okay, full Clone Wars finale spoilers.
If you haven't, like, everybody that listens to the show has seen it except us.
I think that's probably very accurate.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you right now, okay? The moment when Ahsoka was with Anakin.
Oh yeah, and he gives her the lightsabers and she
Well,
walks
no,
away.
even before that, when he was walking out of the door, like the doorway,
Yeah.
and he was like, he gave her a look like, and she looked at him, and I was like, they're never going to see each other again.
Not like that. Yeah.
Like, just in general.
Their relationship is just done.
Like, that's it. Like, and then when the Battle of Mandalore happened,
That was epic.
well, the music is the same exact music from Revenge of the Sith when they are in Grievous's ship.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God. Dude, I must have gotten like so many goosebumps. My heart was fucking racing.
Yeah.
Okay? And like when I finished, I was so tired. I had 1 episode left. Oh, I had a raid.
Right.
And I had 1 episode left of Clone Wars. It was Sunday. I stayed up after I raided and watched the last episode of Clone Wars because I was like, I need to know.
How this ends, yeah.
And it was so awesome.
It was like really somber.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you right now, Sam Winter,
I think it's Witter or Whitaker, something like that.
dude, he makes Darth Maul what he is.
Oh, yes. That's Sam?
Yes.
Yeah. 100%.
Dude. Kenobi!
Yeah.
You know, just I'm so blown away by his rendition of Maul.
Whitwer. Sam Whitwer.
Yeah. And he made it so special.
His voice acting was incredible, too.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. His voice acting for Maul.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so clever how Maul, like the whole premise of the Clone Wars is that Maul can't die. You can't kill Maul.
Kinda, yeah.
No, because as soon as they chopped him in half and he's got robot legs, and then they do some other shit to him, he's basically dead on a ship, and then he's not. And
Right.
you know, I was thrown, like in the beginning of Clone Wars, I thought the whole Clone Wars was about Anakin and Obi-Wan. But the whole Clone Wars was about Maul, the Chancellor,
Yeah.
and
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka.
And it pulls back to like a broader sort of notion that like the Jedi council and like organization is flawed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and oh my God,
Like meaning they mean well, but are a flawed organization, and obviously got to get exploited by Darth Sidious. You know?
well, they were never meant to be warriors.
right,
They were
Right.
keepers of the peace.
right.
And something that just popped into my head, like when Order 66 happened.
Yeah, especially from Ahsoka's point of view
Well, right, like in
with Rex
oh,
and stuff.
even before it. I remember in the first episode where it showed like the Clone Wars in the red,
Yeah,
they were like, all the Jedi are being sent to the far reaches of space
yeah,
to these giant battles, and I was like, well, that's why they all died, because
right.
they were all alone.
They're all spread out.
Yeah, they were all spread out. If they were all together in the Jedi Temple, I don't know if it would have ended that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. It was
And-
all orchestrated like that.
Well, of course. And at that moment, I was like, oh my God, there it is. This was all fucking planned.
Right.
Like, it answered so much for me. And, oh my God. And, like, watching Rex,
Like get conflicted.
like, no, like right away, he was shaking. He's
Yeah.
like, I don't know what I'm doing. Fives. And he started shooting, and she got away, and I was like, what the fuck happened? And
right.
then,
She looks up fives.
right, and finds out, and like she gets it out of Rex, and like all of that shit has happened, and I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then she saves Rex. And Ahsoka is the truest Jedi of them all.
Yeah.
Like, more than Yoda, more than Obi-Wan, hands down, she is what the definition of a Jedi is. Even though those clones were trying to kill her, she wouldn't kill them.
Yeah, 100%. She's like, there's hundreds of them out there. I have no idea how we're gonna do it, but I'm not killing any of them,
Yeah.
which is crazy. Yeah, I think she's like, she rejected the Jedi Council because her values aligned with what the Jedi were supposed to do, and the Council
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's so evident that she is the show. And
Yeah, I think she becomes
she's
the show.
Yeah, she is the truest form of Jedi,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think you can sort of tell by comparing like end of the series Ahsoka to like even the beginning of the show Anakin, like amongst this, we'll call it corrupted, but it's not really what I mean. I mean it in the like ideological sense, not that they're actually corrupt people, but like I'll call it tainted, the tainted Jedi Order. You know what I mean? Obi-Wan aligns with them fine. Yoda does fine. You know, whatever. Yoda's particularly arrogant, whatever. And Anakin is even further on the dark side of the spectrum than the Order is.
Right.
So by comparing Anakin's sort of disposition to Ahsoka, you see really it's a much more easier comparison to see like, oh yeah, he's way closer to the middle of things than the Jedi Order are. Because really he just looks like slightly off from the Jedi Order, but then when you realize that they've been pulled towards the dark side of the spectrum more than, is led on, then it's evident how far towards the middle Anakin is. And so it's not that hard. It's not that big of a leap for him to go into the dark side. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and like the Clone Wars just showed the whole progression of the downfall of the Jedi,
Yeah.
and it just shows how naive they were.
Yeah. It's because they had or at least what they thought was a Sith-free sort of galaxy for generations,
Yeah,
They got too complacent.
but man, the
Definitely.
more you think about it, Palpatine is the man.
I know. Yeah.
Like, dude, how did he kept that together for 30-something years?
Yeah.
Like, wow.
That's insane.
And that's why, like, I know the Darth Plagueis book is not canon.
I mean, that's basically canon.
Well, but it's not canon. Well,
I know it's not
consider
literally
it canon.
Yeah.
But I wish they would dig a little deeper into that
Yeah.
for us because, like, I know that was Plagueis' plan. This whole thing was Plagueis' plan. And
Yeah,
then,
to like take over
yes, slowly
the
but surely.
galaxy
Yep.
politically.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Palpatine did it. And something that Maul said to Ahsoka in one of those last things, he's like, listen, the true apprentice has always been Anakin.
Right.
And I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah. He's been groomed the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time. Everything that has happened is for Anakin. And that's why I know I'm going to dog a little bit on Disney.
Yep.
That's why, like, I didn't really understand the sequel trilogy in the sense of this is Anakin's story.
Yeah. And
And,
he's
like,
not in it. Obviously not in it, but like, because he dies at the end of the original trilogy, but it's just not. It was a weird continuation, you know?
Yeah, it was weird. Like, yeah. And so then, lastly, for the Clone Wars was when Vader, at the end, Vader picks up Ahsoka's lightsaber.
Yeah.
Like, you can feel the suffering
Right.
or the pain.
Yeah. That's like the ultimate pain. Even if, just to know that, like, she did end up dying. It's like the final tie that he had to his Jedi life is gone too. You know, like Padme's dead. He doesn't know what happens to his kids. He has no, and then he finds out, eventually that Ahsoka. Well, he thinks Ahsoka's dead, so he has no ties to his former life and nothing that he cares about anymore. So it's such a like a final somber moment of like Vader's just exclusively going to be suffering and terribleness and pain. You know what I mean? For the rest of
His days.
his days, yeah.
And
It was a really cool end to it, the things.
does it? It makes me think, like, Anakin as Vader later.
Yeah.
He just must. Does he regret what he did?
Yeah. I think that's
so.
part of it. And the regret and like the being mad at himself and things like that just feeds the dark side energy.
Yeah.
And it's a perpetuating cycle of just negativity and pain and suffering and hate, and and it just makes him stronger in the dark side, so he can just fuck things up and be evil.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
that the whole thing is like that's why Palpatine orchestrated him killing Padme, basically.
Yeah.
Is to facilitate like endless suffering for him and make him have all that dark side energy.
Yeah, all of that. And
It's crazy.
yeah, it is crazy.
It was a really cool end to the series, and I really, obviously, we won't talk about Rebels too much this episode anyway, because it motivated both of us to say, "Oh my God, I want to see what happens in Rebels," because we know Ahsoka's in Rebels.
All right. Well, yeah, and I don't know what happens in Rebels because, again, I never, when I see spoilers, I just let it go.
Just go
because
right
I'm
by.
like, someday I'm gonna see it.
Right.
And another bit of Star Wars news. So, do you know how I always talk about a certain point of view?
Yeah.
Right. So they did an Audible for the Clone Wars.
Okay.
It's called. Hold on.
Cool.
Clone Wars
Talking to the
Stories of Light and Dark. Sorry.
Okay.
It's 7 hours long, and it's all voice acted, and it's all scenes from the Clone Wars show.
Okay.
But it's done by the voice actors from the show,
Oh.
and it's only their point of view. So like Cad Bane, when they go into the cage,
Yeah.
and like Obi-Wan is like masked as a bounty hunter that like supposedly killed him.
Yes.
You go through that as Cad Bane.
Bane.
And like
That's
and
cool.
snarkiness, or like Count Dooku reliving the moment when he was trapped, and like him, Anakin, and Obi-Wan had to work together to get out of the jail or wherever they were.
Yes.
And like he relives that, and it's like a 30-minute or 45-minute long retelling of it,
That's cool.
and it's Dooku, so it's fantastic. And the new Thrawn book came out.
Oh, I forgot. I have it like
Pre-ordered.
pre-ordered. Yeah. I'll be talking about that next episode. I'll listen to it.
I'm gonna finish this Clone Wars book before I get into it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So either way,
Awesome.
yeah, it was what a couple weeks for me.
We've had a crazy few weeks. Do you want to talk about Black Ops multiplayer?
Oh my god, dude!
So,
I thought we did.
did we touch on? No, we did. We saved it for right now.
Oh, okay.
I gotta open. How do I open this link here?
So we watched the multiplayer trailer today, and I'm pretty excited for. I'm excited for Cold War because, like I've said in the last episode, the Treyarch thing.
Mhm.
But the new multiplayer, I mean, it's going to be the same old, but I'm hoping that it just looks better and plays better.
It does. It's going to. I don't think they have any mounting, so it's more like just point and shoot type stuff and slightly less tactical. It's more fun seeming anyway. The maps that I saw seem really cool. Like Miami, obviously, is Miami. That's fine. That's a cool color scheme. 80s, you know what I mean?
Scarface.
Yes, the 3 ships one seems pretty sweet, where you can like zip line in between the ships and like there's boats and stuff.
See, that would be cool if you have to go from ship to ship for A, B, and C.
Yeah,
for domination.
I think you do.
Well, I don't know. Like those could be like the ground war style maps.
Yeah, that's
like,
probably it.
And one ship is the domination map.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know much about it, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm eager for more details to find out how they're going to do their progression system.
Mm-hmm.
If they're going to go back to the Prestige or the Battle Pass.
Yeah.
I don't play the game enough to buy the Battle Pass.
Yeah, me neither. I think I did one season, but that was it.
I bought it one season too, but I don't think I would do it again.
Right.
Unless this is the game for me. And this brings me back to, Black Ops 1 and 2 nostalgia.
Yep.
So,
yeah, me too. I'm really looking forward to it. The trailer did a lot for me. It made me really hyped to go play it.
What are you guys talking about in here?
Find out next episode of
Working Class Nerds.